Hello, everyone, and welcome to another edition of Tone's Market Analysis. Today is Wednesday, January 25th, and it's been a really big week already between what happened in the stock market and what happened in Bitcoin with the Chinese volumes. And I'm gonna talk about both of those in this episode. I'm actually gonna talk about my new podcast in between this podcast while another page loads, because that always happens. I have a few minutes. But again, I want to remind people, if you are in Canada and near Toronto, please come out Monday, February 6th. It's a 3-hour event. It's very, very cheap, only $10. It should have over 300 people, probably close to 400 people. So I am personally really looking forward to this. Okay, so come on support. Peter Todd is also one of the speakers. So it looks like I am opening for Peter Todd. So I'll be on at 7:30. Peter Todd will be on at 8 o'clock. All right, let's just jump right onto the show. And I have to talk about the markets. So, of course, I was looking short the S&P 500 with the inauguration and Trump, and who knows how big those protests were going to get. But clearly that did not work out. This trade is no longer in effect, so I will delete this because obviously we broke and closed two new highs yesterday, and my trade hit the stop zone. So I am going to delete all of these arrows. I was looking for a pullback in the S&P 500, which never came. The pullback started over here, never materialized. I am still bullish the S&P 500, but you really can't deny what we just saw. So now we're gonna head into uncharted territory of new highs. So what am I looking for? Well, 2,300 is a big round number, and we're only a 1.5 away from there. We'll probably hit it tomorrow. Can tomorrow be a short-term top? Possibly, but I have no idea where the high is. I mean, the high for the S&P 500 could be 5,000 points, and it probably that's the most likely scenario. I am generally bullish the stock market. I've been bullish the stock market for years, and I will probably remain bullish the stock market throughout Donald Trump's presidency. I just I see good things coming in. Okay, here's a zoomed out view of the S&P 500. Again, this doji did not materialize, so we're going higher. My first level of possible resistance is the 2335 area because of a Fibonacci extension. But I mean, there's nothing I can say, right? I mean, if I'm not going to be the one trying to predict where the S&P 500 is going to stop. I'm not a magician. I am not a I don't I don't see into the future. I really have no idea. All I can do is read charts, and when charts go to all-time lows or when charts go to all-time highs, if someone can predict where that ends, they're a better trader than I am. Hat off to them. I don't do that. I can't do that. So I don't have a crystal ball. Here's the Dow Jones. This is why I was generally short. We were making a lower low, and then it quickly reversed the last 2 days after inauguration. I was looking to short the inauguration day, but that didn't materialize. And Dow hits 20,000. I thought it would take a little longer for Dow to hit 20,000. It hit 20,000. The gloom and doomers that have been saying the last 5 years that there is an imminent crash in the stock market, I have no idea what they're saying today, but Dow is at 20,000. And by the time Trump is done, it's very possible Dow will be at 30,000. I wouldn't be surprised at all. At this moment, again, this arrow did not materialize, so let's delete that. By the way, guys, I delete all my arrows on camera. No one will ever accuse me of revisionist history. I also put my positions if I have any, and I will delete them also right on this podcast. I'm not going to do anything in between. Again, here's a zoomed out version of the Dow Jones, all-time highs. I mean, there's nothing I can say. I really need a NASDAQ chart here because NASDAQ only recently broke the all-time highs because of the 2000 tech bubble. So that would be a very interesting thing to look at. And since I don't believe in double tops and we clearly aren't topping right here in the NASDAQ, it's possible that the NASDAQ will double in value from here on out, creating some unreasonable gains. All right, here's gold. And I was saying in the last video, I was considering taking a short position in gold, and I did take that short position in gold. Now, it is possible that gold did not top on this dead cat bounce. It's possible that it can still reverse and go to 1250, maybe even 1300. But I am back to generally being bearish gold. It had a pretty good run. We hit this 9 right here. That was a temporary sell signal. It's possible that it will have a 13 count to the upside, ending at around 1250. I did take this short. My stop loss is new highs. Yeah, I put in 1225 as a round number. I should probably lower that a little bit, but I'll leave it at 1225. My gain is going back to 1175, only because of this 50-day moving average. And if we go below this 50-day moving average, I'll probably be short gold indefinitely the entire year because I'm looking for sub 1,000 gold prices. Here is the longer term view of gold on a weekly chart. We broke right through this Fibonacci. We're now at this 50% Fibonacci. Not a huge fan of the 50% Fibonacci, and as you can see, the 200-day moving average is right at the higher Fibonacci line. So it would have been nice to see gold get closer to the 1250 area, but this looks like a good enough run for me to short gold again. The moment gold falls below this low of 1130, I'm expecting the bottom to just drop, and fast. I am not a gold bull at around here by any means. I think the strong U.S. economy over the next 4 years will just annihilate gold. So I am pretty bearish gold at the moment. Okay, so here's oil. I still have this lingering long position. I might just take it off because it's just an annoyance, but the daily chart isn't helping. Here's why I have this oil long position. And because of this inverse head and shoulders, I mean, I picked a terrible entry point, which is like here. This should have been an entry point off the 50-day. This should have been another entry point off the 50-day. Even right here at like 49 would have been a better entry point. Just a terrible entry point, just extremely late to the trade. So it's just an annoyance right now, and it's flat. So I may be taking this trade off the table. We'll see, but I still have it, which is why it's still on my chart. The 50-day is going up. I'm still short-term bullish oil, but I don't think, while it's possible we can have $100 oil in the future, I believe it's highly unlikely. Maybe I'll do like monthly charts at the end of the month. I think the days of expensive oil are over. I think there's way more oil in the ground than the gloom and doomers would have us believe. In addition, I think new technology will render oil useless sooner or later. And if there is an oil crisis, that technology will just get ramped up faster than slower. So again, all those books from 10 years ago, some of which I've actually read, they are saying the world's going to collapse when oil hits $200 a barrel, like Stephen Lee books or some of the other ones. Again, in hindsight, you realize how stupid they were. But again, right? That's how this money needs to be made, right? I mean, you're publishing a book, so you have to make it dramatic. I don't, and not to mention, I also think the dollar is going to strengthen, and oil's priced in dollars, so that doesn't really help. Okay, so I'm done with this, so I can start closing these to free up memory. And let me open one tab, and let me open the rest. And of course, Bitcoin. I wanted to do more economic stuff, but I just didn't get to it with the podcast. So speaking of the podcast, let me pull this up. All right. So the new podcast has launched. It's called CryptoScam, and I just called it that for fun. I hope I don't have to rebrand. I hate rebranding anything. But the idea is that so many people ask me, Tone, what do you think of Dash? Tone, what do you think of Monero? Tone, what do you think of Factom? Tone, what do you think of something I've never even heard of? I get those questions all the time. And it's very, very hard to answer those questions. Like, I don't want to have to answer what I think about Dash 3 times a week. So and I will try and pick a competent co-host, a different co-host for every episode. And we will just have like a 1-hour fireside chat, think about a specific coin or a specific project in the crypto space. And I will even expand it beyond the coins themselves. We'll cover cloud mining. I was going to cover Chinese volume, but I guess I don't have to now. And topics like that. I'll probably have Andy Hoffman on, and we can talk about the gold manipulation and some other things. But the general premise of the podcast will be me and someone else having a fireside chat about a topic. And I would like to keep these debate-free, though that might not be the case in the gold manipulation one. But that's kind of the goal. And hopefully people will see my views on a lot of these coins, and it makes my life easier in the future, because when people ask me, I can just send them the link to the podcast. Okay, so let's see here. What do we got? As they load. And I will try to get this podcast into iTunes. It's already it's already on SoundCloud. I created a SoundCloud account. I got to figure out, I think I have to pay for SoundCloud. I need to do that soon. And I think I need a few episodes before I can get it into iTunes. Once it's in iTunes, it should be on people's phones and apps. I also have no idea what I'm doing. It's my first time doing this. I always let other people hit the record button. I started hitting the record button with these economics videos, and now I'm getting into podcasting. I know I need to buy an actual webcam, and I will do that. But I don't know, maybe I'll do it tonight. We'll see. I know they need to be a little more professional, but everything adds up, the time and the costs. So we'll see how much effort I'm willing to put into it. And guys, please share, please comment. It does help a lot to be recognized and seen by people that may not know about crypto and want to learn. Okay, here's the US dollar. It's been going down. I think it's due for a pullback. We had this bearish 9 count that usually results in a 1 to 4 day pullback. I can definitely see a pullback back to the 50-day moving average. And then we'll see. There's also this Fibonacci. So I am short-term bullish the dollar. It might have some more weakness, but on a longer-term scale, I am fairly bullish the dollar. Here's the Canadian dollar, only because I'll be in Canada in about a week and a half. And would have been nice to see the dollar go up and the Canadian dollar go to like 1.4. Would have been nice for me spending US dollars in Canada. But right now, it's just sitting in between these two Fibonacci's. Nothing really to see here. Here's the euro. I think the euro had a good run. I'm going to delete this arrow. It was clearly drawn badly. I am still short looking to short the euro, and probably sooner than later. I'm going to adjust this arrow here. I think euro had a good run. This is a weekly chart of the euro, and I think it's time for the euro to come back down. And of course, here's the British pound. The British pound is very frustrating because I've been bullish the British pound all through here. You know what? I'm gonna scam myself here. I'm gonna draw a revisionist arrow. So I was long the British pound all through here, and clearly I was wrong as it went and made a double bottom low, and I hate double bottoms. So at this point, I'm going to clone this arrow, and I'm going to do this. And this is just a monster 2-day move, and those that watch me regularly probably would have heard me say, watch me be totally wrong on this trade. And I was totally wrong on this trade. I was short right here as of around 0.8. Right in the middle of this triangle, I went short. And when this spike happened, at 0.875, my trade got stopped out, and it's unfortunate. I got caught by this shooting star candle and what looked like confirmation the next day, and I entered this trade a little early, and instead of having the guts to double down on the right trade, I took the trade off the table. The trade now, a week and a half later or 2 weeks later, would have been in the money for me. But you know what? It's okay. You win some, you lose some. I'm just going to adjust this arrow a little bit. And it will probably take longer. It won't be swift. So I am looking for this head and shoulders to materialize and for the pound to be significantly stronger than the euro. So the pound would appreciate against the euro. I have been talking about this for a while. I think the pound is grossly oversold, and I think the euro is still grossly overbought. I think the euro should be below parity with the dollar, and I've been saying that for years, though. Okay. Oh, I forgot to pull up the weekly chart. Not that there's really much to see in the weekly chart, but let me see here. Bitcoin weekly. I have too many charts. Bitstamp weekly. There it is. All right. Well, while that's loading. All right. So here it is. We're still in the channel. I have absolutely no fear in Bitcoin crashing. I think we're strong going forward, and I will. I have to talk about the Chinese volume, and I will. But for now, stick to the channel. I'm expecting it to go up to the top of the channel. How fast? How quick? I have no idea, but I am looking for my mid-August high, and I'll probably write a whole article about why I think that, and we'll see. I might be right, might be wrong, but yeah. So I'm looking for this channel. Let's take a look at the weekly. If there's anything here of note, well, we need this week to be positive, even by a little bit. So I would be a little nervous if we closed on Sunday below 890. That wouldn't be clean. But if we close on Sunday above 920, I would be very optimistic Bitcoin. All right, you know what? I'm going to look at the hourly chart, and as you can see, there is nothing going on in the hourly chart. I understand that these moving averages have crossed, but the price is like literally right there. So this may be something. This is probably nothing, and I'll just wait and see. As far as my two shapes, this cup and handle worked out perfectly within 72 hours. This bullish pennant almost worked out. The pennant called for a move up to 950, and it only made it to 940. So I was expecting a move from about 885 all the way up to 950 for a $65 up move. It only made it 60. So, but again, if you're a long-term trader, it doesn't matter. All right, so here's the chart of the Brave New Coin Liquid Index. And I don't know what to say other than this complete and utter bullshit from BTC China, which I was going to try and have Bobby Lee on my new CryptoScam podcast in sometime later this month or next month, where I was going to talk to him about Chinese volumes, but this is clearly no longer necessary. And here's the thing, guys. I had one publication reach out to me like early this morning. I woke up and I have a message from a publication asking for a quote in Chinese volume, and I had nothing to say. I have nothing to say about this, and the reason I have nothing to say about this is because I've been talking about the bullshit of Chinese volumes for years. And I kept people, every time I saw some mainstream article or an article saying 90% of volume is in China, and I said, no, that's complete bullshit. That's just stupid. Anyone that thinks that doesn't understand Bitcoin, doesn't understand trading, doesn't understand what's driving the market. And I've been saying this, and people were asking me, how come I never look at the price of Bitcoin and the Chinese yuan? And I kept saying that's because the price of Bitcoin and Chinese yuan is irrelevant. I don't believe their volumes. I don't believe what they're doing over there. I don't trust their exchanges. And when you have zero fee trading and no regulation and nothing, and no one to be accountable to, you're going to have bot trading. You're going to have wash trading. You probably had people at these exchanges just trading between themselves just to compete for who has the highest unrealistic volume. So the price of Bitcoin in yuan never mattered to me. I really think people are putting way too much, I don't even know the right word I'm looking for here. I think people are putting way too much stock in how relevant China is to Bitcoin. And I don't think it's as relevant as the other exchanges like Bitfinex, like Bitstamp. And I've always thought this. And most likely this run up here was in China, and this fall here was because of China. And I fully understand that. My view is, now that there are fees to trade in China and a lot of this stupid leverage is gone, this may not happen. I mean, it'll happen again, but it won't be happening for the same reason. So I'm actually happy that these exchanges dropped the leverage. I'm happy that these exchanges added fees, because the exchange that is responsible for the underlying Bitcoin should not be in the business of leverage trading. This is how it is in the traditional financial space. You don't really trade with leverage Apple stock. You don't trade with leverage the S&P 500 ETF. You don't trade with leverage the gold ETF. Leverage is for the futures markets. The futures markets do not hold inventory. They are just peer-to-peer, and it's someone wins and someone loses. Options are independent. Options trade on the options exchanges. Same thing. There are rules and regulations for big players to to have the liquidity to pay for those options if they're on the wrong side of the trade. And the reason why these rules exist is because long-term capital management almost brought down the entire financial system back in 1992. I believe it was 92, don't quote me on that, when Russia defaulted and long-term capital management had written all these options as a hedge fund, making all this money, and then they completely imploded, almost bringing down the entire financial system with them. And this is why you don't trade with leverage. Yes, you can borrow money. Yes, you can trade on margin, but you don't get to trade 3x and 4x or more. There are leveraged ETFs, and those are done with swaps. But when you buy into it, you're just trading the leveraged instrument that someone that knows what they're doing is managing. This clearly doesn't happen at these Chinese exchanges. So I'm glad that PBOC is putting them in check. Of course, this is one good thing. This will be followed by many bad things when they ramp up the KYC process, and who knows how those regulators will see Bitcoin favorably. But for now, these spikes are irrelevant, and the volume will go back to normal, and we'll see. I mean, I think it's a good thing, and now the users of Bitcoin will benefit with hopefully less volatility. All right, on that note, I am done. I am just gonna plug my new podcast one more time and pull that up. All right, guys, any questions? A few less live viewers than usual. Looks like about 40 people right now. It was about 25 when the video started. Ripple coin pump. I have no idea what's going on with Ripple right now. I don't know. Let me look at the coin so let's see what's going on. Like I have no idea when Ripple pumps because the price of a Ripple is like less than a penny, and it's like, who cares? Like Ripple is so irrelevant. It shouldn't even be a crypto coin. Anyway, I'm gonna save it for the podcast. I'll be talking about Ripple. I'll release the next episode either tomorrow or Friday, and then another one at the end of the weekend, early next week. And we'll get to Ripple. I'm not actually doing them in exact order because Ethereum is taking a lot of effort. I mean, there's still trying to find the right guest, and Monero is also a little tricky. But some of the other ones I already have recorded. That's a good question. You know what? So the question is, what do I think about Bitcoin's share of the total crypto coin market cap? And I actually want to, so here's the chart. Bitcoin percentage of total market cap, and we hit a low of 75, and then we came all the way back up when Bitcoin was having that pump, came all the way back up to 88, and we're now back down to 85. But what I want to do is, hold on a second, maybe I tweet too much. I'm looking through, I tweeted this out, and I'm looking for the picture I used in that tweet. All right, hold on a second, guys. There we go. All right. So I tweeted this out a while ago, and I guess I was kind of making fun and trolling a little bit, where I pointed to the two notable times Mike Hearn had quit Bitcoin. He did it twice. He rage quit twice, and he picked the lows very, very well. And I kind of did the same thing with Roger Ver, complaining that. This is with the big blockers, where he basically tweeted like the week of the low of 75% that Bitcoin is great at capacity, where the rest of the world is going to move on without us. And what he means is altcoins are going to take over. And then he was more specific over here. Bitcoin's failure to scale quickly has caused the highest transaction fee of all coins. This is driving users to altcoins. And he tweeted that one out right here at the secondary low of about 77%. We came all the way back up to almost 90. Now we're back down. So I'm going to grab a blue dot here. So we did this. Oh, it's way too thick. So we went close to 90. Now we're back to 85. And I honestly think we're doing this. I don't see it, guys. I don't see it. I mean, it'll never hit 100%, but it's going to go up. It's just I just don't see it. And And on my podcast, I'm going to talk about why I see things that way. And also every month I put out one of these. This is kind of like my price of Bitcoin, where I take the total market cap and I divide it by the number of Bitcoins. And to me, that is the price of Bitcoin. And I tweet these out usually on the 1st or on the 31st. So there'll be another one coming in a few weeks where I will post my Bitcoin maximalist market cap adjusted price. All right, what else we got? Any other questions? Great. I'm glad you guys liked the CryptoScam episode 1. The format will be very, very similar. It's just that the topic is different. So I doubt I'll be talking about the same topic twice. Okay, so this will be my last question because it's past 7 o'clock. And those of you that don't know, I went to Florida State. I'm a Seminole, and our basketball team has a chance to be in the top 3. And I want to watch their game tonight. What would you say is the best way to wash my Bitcoin using XMR or Zcash if I want to make an anonymous Bitcoin payment to someone? So Bitcoin, XMR, BTC. Is it easy to use Shapeshift? Honestly, I don't think it's that necessary. I mean, you have to be doing something really shady with Bitcoin. And I mean really, really shady to have to go through that. Again, I don't know what you're doing. I don't want to recommend this. If you use Shapeshift, you're going to lose like 2% on this transaction. If you use Zcash, you're going to lose also, because Zcash is just an instrument that is only designed to do one thing, and that's drop in price. That's all Zcash will ever do. Its market cap is going to keep going up, right? Where is it at now? So it's up to 17 now, right? So Zcash will probably make it into the top 10. I have no doubt in my mind. But the price is going to perpetually go down, and I'll talk about why that is when I get to Zcash in my podcast, CryptoScam. So Monero is probably your best bet, but there are so many few people that are using Monero. Like, is it really worth it? I mean, you can just use Bitcoin mixers. People are working on Bitcoin fungibility. Look, just don't reuse your addresses. Use random coins. I mean, if you're not in the US, you probably don't even have to worry about it. Yeah. All right, guys. On that note, I will sign off. I'll see you all over the weekend. I will try to do a little bit of fundamentals in the economy, only because that makes me look into it, and I should have done it. Just been busy with traveling and events and the new podcast. Anyway, hope to see some of you in Toronto, and see you all over the weekend.